Joining me now, former Pentagon official, Fox News national security analyst, KT McFarland. KT, great to have you
Good to be with you.
We're now commencing operations, as they say, against the Islamic State in Libya.
Libya, country number 3 for the Islamic State. Iraq, Syria, and now Libya. Look, I mean, the whole Middle East, for 15 years we've been fighting radical Islam, and we haven't gotten it right. You know, Bush said we're going to fight him over there so we don't have to fight him over here. Obama's pulled out, and then pulled back in, and now pulled back out, and pulled back in. We have yet to figure this out, and that's why I think when Trump says we've wasted trillions, we've squandered trillions, and we have sacrificed so many American lives in pursuit of something we have yet to win.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, the long war, David Petraeus hailed as a genius of some kind for saying there's such a doctrine as the long war. Well, my gosh, the Pentagon has certainly demonstrated its capacity for a long war, exhausting men and equipment.
And losing. That's what makes me mad. And losing.
Gaining nothing.
And gaining nothing.
I mean, does anybody at these academies, military academies, teach victory to these young officers? I mean, does anybody?
It's a concept. We have not gone in to fight a war, to win a war, other than maybe Grenada, really since World War II. I mean, that was one of the most frustrating things about being in the Nixon administration during Vietnam. We fought a war, we didn't win that war, and you thought we had learned those lessons, and yet here we have made the same mistakes again.
The Islamic State weighs in on the Trump controversy, mocking them, Khan and anyone else who says Islam is a religion of peace. This is crazy stuff that's going on, and the national liberal media trying to divert national attention, and certainly Trump responsible for his words, but his words do not support what he's accused of. It's remarkable.
You know, I think the tragedy, I mean, as you know, I'm a mother of a naval officer, mother-in-law now of a naval officer, and I cannot conceive of the grief that Mrs. Smith feels for her lost son or the Khans.
Utterly ignored by the national media.
And utterly ignored. I think that the best thing anybody can do in public life is just say, I don't care what they say or what these families do. We just suffer with you. We respect your grief, and we admire you for the sacrifice, period.
We're watching some of the neocons resurrect themselves in various publications in Washington, D.C., the so-called right conservative groups. These are the people responsible for all that has transpired, at least from the incipient point to at least the Iraq, the May of 2003, where the necessity to actually do something constructive and move out of there was clear. Why in the world are they still
relevant? Even why is anybody listening to them? I don't understand it. You know, we went into Afghanistan, rightfully so, but then we stuck around a nation building. We never really went after al-Qaeda or bin Laden. And then we go into Iraq, again, nation building, trying to force democracy down the throats of people who don't want it and can't sustain it. I think we now look at the Middle East, you know, if they want to kill each other, sorry, why do we belong in the middle of that fight?
And the national liberal media not focusing on what Donald Trump is saying or why, instead trying to ridicule what turned out to be a geopolitical statement on NATO that had nearly universal agreement amongst those who actually know what they're talking about. KT McFarland, who always knows what she's talking about, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Lou.
Thanks, KT.